Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up for the Shannons Club. Kenworth Trucks Australia. Pace Farm Eggs. And Holden Certified Service AC Delco Parts. G'day, I'm Fletch and welcome to the show. This week I have pleasure to bring you just some of the 2024 Chrysler Nationals here in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, in this week's Classic Restos. It's great to be back, and 2024 is a little bit extra special because it proudly marks the 50th anniversary of Carlisle Events. And before we go any further, there are a few people that deserve a mention. People that have played an integral role to help to make this production featuring some of the 2024 Chrysler Nationals happen on Classic Restos here in Carlisle. It's a special thanks to Carlisle Events. See more about the many events that they hold each year at carlisleevents.com. Elco Performance Parts, Australia's largest manufacturer of as-factory restoration parts for Australian-built Chryslers. Used Valiant spare parts, servicing and lots more. Can't see it on the website? Give Elco a call. elcoperformance.com.au. And when you're ready to ship your classic to and from many world destinations, choose DASMAC, International Logistics, Shipping and Transport. See more at dasmac.com.au. Okay, well, getting around the Showfield, where do we start? Well, it's Friday, it's day one, but things actually started revving up last night across the street at the Expo Centre. Here's a little sneak peek of what went on there last night. And in the Department of Cool, how good is this? This is Thursday afternoon, and across the street from Carlisle Events we have the Expo Centre. Talk about a starter to the main. Mopars and their owners have gathered here for the Kickoff party, and it's a thanks to the Mopar Rebellion Car Club. Check this out.
Come on up, see the Mopars.
There is so much to be said about each Carlisle event. There are literally miles of roads here where you can walk and walk, taking in everything that the event has to offer, along with 8,000 vendor spaces. And there is so much going on. The Carlisle Chrysler Nationals is a tremendous recipe for a high-octane, chrome-plated main meal to be served. It's always an exhilarating experience for enthusiasts and Mopar fans alike, having morphed itself into the largest Chrysler event on the planet. From timeless classics to ground-pounding muscle cars and all marks in between, around 2,900 vehicles are set for this year's agenda. After the main, there's always some dessert, where perhaps walking the flea market, finding parts might just help you finish that resto. Find a part for your current ride, or just find parts because you can. For 50 years, Carlisle Events has stood for the cars, the people, and the excitement. The only trouble with Carlisle is that when you walk around, you find Australians. How are you, Bruce?
Oh, I'm really well, Fletch. I'm in Mopar heaven, mate. It doesn't get any better than this.
Is this your first time to Carlisle?
It is my first time, mate. I'm just blown away. Yeah. Unbelievable.
It's like a cat in a mouse plague, isn't it?
Oh.
The cat just sits there, the mice run past, it doesn't move. It's just so much to take in.
Mate, I've been here for an hour. I haven't left the front gate yet, just watching the cars roll. It's just been amazing. The quality of the vehicles rolling in, like it's incredible. You might see one or two road runners, at a car show in Australia, but here that's just one after another, mate. Yeah.
Good on you, Bruce. Well, it's great catching up with you, mate, and thanks for coming to Carlisle. You've picked a wonderful event, and I know you really enjoy it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I really enjoy your show, mate. So, it was incredible just to run into you as well.
Companies have a wonderful opportunity to show off what they have at the Manufacturers Midway. It's their chance to show you the latest and the greatest in all things automotive. With me now, the founder of Carlisle Events, the man himself. How are you, Bill Miller?
I'm just great, Fletch. How are you doing?
Wonderfully well, thank you.
It's awesome. How long's it been? 7 years since we got together?
First time back in 7 years, yeah.
Wow, unbelievable. Hey, we had a long-time relationship, buddy.
Absolutely. We went back to the tours here in Carlisle, and you used to let the tour groups go to the basement of your house and see your personal car collection. That sort of stuff was special.
It's amazing. You and I were just chatting a little while ago. All the things you remembered from those tours, I couldn't believe it.
There's no doubt about it. There's a special place in my heart for Carlisle, and a lot of episodes have been done here over the years, Bill, and we've watched this morph itself into, well, the largest car events in the world. It's very special in 2024. You must be feeling pretty happy with the fact that this is your 50th anniversary from 1974. How does that make you feel?
Old. It's interesting because it's just hard to imagine that it's been 50 years. But I've never worked a day in my life, Fletch. I've been in the car business all my life. I was an automobile dealer, and we started the car shows in 1974. And here it is 50 years later. It's just unimaginable that it's been that long. I tell everybody I was 12 when we started, but that's lying a little bit,
It's time for something different. We've seen these little red express trucks around in the past. I want to find out a little bit more about them. How you doing, Jason?
Good. How are you, Fletch?
I'm great. You enjoying yourself for Carlisle so far this year?
Absolutely. It's one of the best shows in the country.
Isn't it absolutely incredible?
It is. I've been doing this show since 1992 and don't plan on stopping until I die.
There you go. That's a big statement.
I love these cars, love these trucks, love to come to Carlisle.
It's just the whole atmosphere, it's the environment, the people, everything's fantastic.
Yeah, the camaraderie you meet with people here, you make friends from all over the country, all over the world.
Absolutely, Jason. Well, these express trucks, they've always intrigued me. You might have seen one, maybe two. Here at Carlisle, we've got a row of them. What can you tell us about them? When did they start production? How long did they run for?
They only ran 2 years. They started in 1978. That was the first model year. 1978 was the fastest production vehicle in the United States. And then they built them for 79. And then in 1980, the government caught on to what Chrysler was doing, trying to make a hot rod truck, and they quit making them.
So the fun police came in.
That's right. They have to ruin everything.
Okay, so when you say the fastest commercial vehicle, right?
Correct. Yeah, they were the fastest vehicle. They actually beat the Corvettes that year. Yeah.
Okay, so what are we looking at? We're looking at a 360?
360, yep. 225 horsepower, I believe, if I memory serves me, 230. 4-barrel carburetor, 355 rear gears, and they were all automatic transmissions. Yeah. Fletch, this is actually Ashley's truck, and she's got all the original paperwork for this truck, including the broadcast sheet, which is very rare to find in one of these trucks. It's just really awesome to have all this paperwork and the authenticity to document what this truck was actually built as.
So, Jason, production numbers, 78 and 79, what can you tell us there?
In 1978, they made 2,188 of these trucks. In 1979, the production increased to 5,118.
It's not a lot when you look at a production standpoint.
No, not at all. They were very limited. That's not a lot of vehicles made for those years.
Well, last time I was at Carlisle, there wasn't as many as this on the paddock. So the 50th anniversary here in 2024, it's great to see so many turn up.
Oh, exactly. I love seeing these trucks and love that the owners brought them out, and we all get to enjoy the show.
Yeah. Good on you. Been a pleasure talking to you, Jason.
Pleasure talking to you, Fletch.
I spend a lot of time out here. The RT Charger's the real deal. An E49. Remember A Charger? I've I've always got projects on the go, so Shannon's laid-up cover helps protect my restorations. I'm Mopar through and through. It's a passion Shannon's understands. I wouldn't insure my cars and bikes with anyone else.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
When it comes to cars, there are some brands that will remain with us forever, no matter what. The Holden was always Australia's own car, held high in the hearts of many. Those lines, that chrome, the stories around them, and the people that owned them. From the classic through to the final, you can still trust in genuine Holden and AC Delco parts, available through the Holden Certified Service Network.
Your story began in 1971. It's part of an endless tapestry that tells the story of our nation. It connects innovators to artisans, forests to houses, from the largest of operations to the smallest of outcomes. It's heritage. It's a legacy.
The show buildings here on the grounds of Carlisle Events are always fantastic. We are in Building T. This building is about to come alive. This guy here, Chrysler Event Manager, Ed Brzezski. Nice to see you, Ed.
Hi, Fletch. Good to see you again.
Now, 2016 was the last year I was here, Ed. What changes can we expect to see in 2024?
Definitely a bigger show. This building's going to be a brighter show. This is going to be crazy bright by this weekend.
Now, the layout of the showground this year, many changes there. I know that you've got your coloured areas of the ground when you look at the program.
There's been a couple changes. Some of them we had to do. In fact, all of them we had to do. Due to growth of the show, we moved an entire fence down and brought in, I didn't calculate it or measure it, but I'm going to say at least another couple of acres where we can get another 150 cars or so in.
So the growth has been fairly significant over the time you've been here.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and it's not just the new cars. A lot of people think it's the late model Charger and Challenger, and they definitely added to the growth of it for sure. We're getting about 800 of those, but I've been doing the math and looking at the numbers, and I only have really reliable data back to either 03 or 04, but going back to then until now, A-body, B-body, and C-body are all bigger now than they've ever been.
And also, too, the team here at Carlisle Events are just so professional. Around 10 events, you're doing at least 10 events here on the fairgrounds every year here at Carlisle, and every one of them is just as professional as the last one. So, Ed, great to catch up. Thank you very much. I wish you all the very best for the weekend, and hope everything goes smoothly. And, well, obviously, we're in for another big one.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We're looking for good weather. I can't wait for this building to fill up.
And it's always a pleasure catching up with you. Thank you very much for your time. It's great to see you again.
You're welcome. Thanks, Fletch.
How are you, Dick?
Good, Fletch. How are you doing?
I'm great. You standing up okay?
I'm still upright and taking nourishment.
Yeah. You enjoying the show?
Absolutely. Greatest show on earth.
Dick, this 71 Demon is absolutely beautiful. It goes without saying, of course, it's plum crazy. What a colour. This is Chrysler, the Mopar brand was renowned for their outlandish colours, and they really pop in the sun. They look fantastic, don't they?
Yes, they do. I love the plum crazy, and that's why I ordered this car the way it was.
You've got an interesting story to tell us. How long have you had this car for, Dick?
Bought it new, Fletch, 1971. Took delivery in March of 71. I was a 17-year-old senior in high school. It came shortly before my birthday. My birthday's March 24th. Came on March 17th or something like that. So basically I was 17 when I took delivery of the car. I ordered it in December of 70.
Isn't that amazing? 17 years of age, United States of America, senior high school, brand new car, the Demon. What was it like back then to buy such a car? What did your friends say? I guess maybe not much, because maybe they bought them as well.
They did. Most of my friends had Dusters.
Now, Dick, what's the story with the engine? This should have a 340.
I bought the car in 71. In 71, 72, I drove it 2 summers on the street. In 73, we took it off the street and drag raced it. We had the engine built, put slicks on it, and beefed it up. And we raced it in 73 and 74. My buddy who worked on the car with me blew it up at the track. In 74, I got married, the same year the car blew up. In 75, my wife and I bought a farm, and the car sat there with no engine for 28 years before we got out and restored it.
What a survivor car. It's just beautiful. It just looks so good. The photo album that Dick's brought along with him is wonderful. There's a photo of you in a suit there. You're going to a wedding?
Yes, I was. I was standing up for my cousin's wedding.
That's just time capsule stuff. Dick, thank you so much for catching up. These are the stories I love. Original owners, all these years down the track, you've still got the car. It must just mean so much to you.
It does. It does. I've got the same wife I married 50 years ago and the same car I had 52 years ago. So Fletch, it was a pleasure talking to you. It was very nice.
Yep. Thank you, sir. Pleasure.
Thank you, Fletch.
You're welcome. This year, Bill, Building T has the timeline of Carlisle events from 1974 right through to 2024. How does that make you feel when you look along that timeline?
Well, when you look at the start of the timeline, it starts at 1806. And 1806 was the first year for the Carlisle Fair. And if it would have stayed in activity from the Second World War, it would have been the oldest fair in the United States. So it's got a fantastic history, you know, from 1806 to 2024. And that wall says it all. You know, I get goosebumps every time I walk that wall.
And of course, the legacy going back with Chip Miller as well, and no relation, strangely enough. But how it all started with you guys, I think you took a Corvette to a car show at Hershey around about the year of 1968, I think it might have been, and the car was not old enough.
It was actually a 54 Corvette, and it was 1973. And you know, to guys in their 20s, we kind of thought a 20-year-old car was an old car, but we didn't realize that to be recognized as an antique car, it had to be 35 years old or older. And we were asked to leave. We took the car out, and as we wandered around, Chip said to me, "Isn't it a shame there isn't a place we could go where we like the cars?" You know, brass cars and the Model A's and the Model T's were long before our lifetime, and that's how it all started.
Yeah. My name is Ella Miller, and my dad owns Carlisle Events. And what I've observed from growing up with him basically is that he works really hard to put on these great shows for everyone to enjoy. And being here, I can tell everyone's having a lot of fun with their family, friends, and I enjoy it too. It's really cool to see. So my pop, Chip Miller, he passed away just before I was born. I really wish I could have met him. It makes me proud to see my dad and his work with Bill Miller and how far he's come just with 50 years now. It's been great.
When I was a kid, I loved cars, still do. The 57 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham was the most advanced car in the world. Cost more than a Rolls. Hand-built with a stainless steel roof, cruise control, electric seats, and would you believe, air suspension. American iron. It's a passion Shannons understand. That's why they insure my daily drive, the caddy, my bike, even the house.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
They may not be making the classic Holden anymore, but the legacy lives on. You can still have a Holden certified service using genuine Holden and AC Delco quality parts at over 180 centres across Australia. Go to holden.com.au to find your nearest centre. Book your Holden in, maintain the pride. And of course, if you own a classic bike, a classic car or a classic truck, it just has to be insured with these guys. Why not pick up the phone and give Shannons a call for a quote and a chat on 134646. And keep in mind too that the Shannons Club awaits you. For more information, visit shannons.com.au. With me now, special occasion, racing legend Buddy Martin. How are you, Buddy?
Doing well. Very, very blessed. You know, I'm alive, so got a lot going for me.
Buddy, it's still fantastic to see you out and about, mixing with the fraternity. Right. You must still really enjoy it.
Oh, I do, especially the Mopar fans. They're just some of the greatest fans in the world. And, you know, with Michael and Herb and all this stuff, it's really, really enjoyable.
Now, unfortunately, back in 2006, we lost Ronnie Socks. Your partner for many, many decades. Tell us as quickly as you can, Buddy, about the early times, how you guys got together and the transition of vehicles and how you ended up with Mopar.
Right. Well, in 1962, Ronnie and I both were running 62 409 Chevrolets. And as I've said, and I certainly don't mean it in any derogatory manner, but Ray Charles could see that he was a better driver than I was. And so at the end of 62, I had heard that Chevrolet was coming with a 63 Z11, and I approached Ronnie and asked him if I could get one of the 63s, would he be interested in driving it? And he said, yeah. And so that's how we got started together. And we ran the Chevrolet in 63, and of course, lo and behold, Chevrolet pulled out of racing in February of 63, and by the end of the year, we were scrambling to try to find and get parts. And I told Ronnie, we got to make a change or, gonna have to go home. And so being young and naive, I went to Greensboro and got on an airplane and flew to Detroit and didn't have an appointment or anything, and took a chance and was able to get in touch with Fran Hernandez, who was heading up the Comet program at that time. And he called me back and wanted to know if we could have dinner that night. And so in the meantime, I was down in the lobby of the hotel waiting on him to come pick me up for dinner, and George Hurst walked in and wanted to know why I was there. And I told him, and he said, have Fran stop by my room for a minute if he would when he gets here. And I did, and Fran went by his room, and Fletch, to this day, I have no idea what, George told Fran, but it didn't hurt. And we went to dinner and had dinner, and I explained to him kind of what we wanted to do and what we thought it would take to do that. And he shook my hand, said, you got a deal.
What can you tell us about the Sox Martin car behind us here, and how does it make you feel in 2024 standing next to this car?
Yeah, well, the way this car came about was Herb McCandless. I had a chance to hire him, and he came and just did a fantastic job for us, and that he and Gail Mortimer built this car at our shop.
Buddy Martin, it's been an absolute pleasure, sir, to be able to catch up and speak with you. I never thought the day would come where I would have the privilege of meeting you, so thank you very, very much.
No, thanks for guys like you that make us, what we really are.
No, you're legends, and you just got to, we have to keep this dream alive for as long as we can.
I'm going to do my best, that's for sure. I'm willing, for good Lord's willing. Right.
Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to catch up with this guy. He's even been to Chrysler's on the Murray in Australia. How you doing, Mike Buckle?
I'm doing great, Fletch. Just doing great.
It's great to see you again, Mike.
Yeah, I'm still standing up.
You are. And you're not getting any shorter either.
Yeah, I am.
Now, Mike, obviously one of the original drivers of the Ramchargers, and he did a splendid job back in the 60s. And this car behind us is the original car, right?
The original 64, first ever Hemi car, first ever altered wheelbase car, and a lot of lightweight stuff on it.
Okay, so we're looking at aluminum front fenders, we've got aluminum front bar, Corning glass.
Aluminum doors. Yep. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. Anything we could think of that was lighter, we did.
Yeah, no wonder the thing won't rust. Look, I think it's a pretty car as well. Where a lot of the dashes are often blanked off, you've kept the original cluster in there, and the red interior too. I think that looks nice, Mike.
Well, it does, but you got to thank Mike Guffey. He spent all the money to restore this thing. He did a great job.
And of course, back in the day, it wasn't about cosmetics, was it? It was about winning the quarter mile.
The whole thing was about winning, racing and winning.
Mike, the difference of altering the wheelbases for weight transfer, obviously that had a huge impact from launch off the line. When the cars went through the development, what were you thinking at the time? Did you think to yourself, well, this is a weird looking thing, or were you surprised how well it worked?
Well, they wouldn't let us move the motor. So instead of moving the motor, we just moved the wheels ahead. And this was our match race car. So we used it when we had tough competition. And there was a stablemate to this that was a legal super stock. And it set top speed at super stock at the fall nationals. So it was no slouch of a car, but the wheels were in the right place, and it had the right stuff on it that it would pass inspection.
Back in the day, Mike, you're a young guy, 426 Hemi. Explain that experience, the first few runs that you had. What was it like to thunder one of these down the quarter mile back then?
Well, it was just 50 horsepower more than we'd had before. And we'd been doing it since '61, and we just incrementally got faster every year as the tires got better and we got a little bit more horsepower. But for the Hemi, we got a lot more horsepower.
Sure. And the 413s, they would have ran well back in their day?
Oh, yeah. They were, when they called out the 50 fastest super stocks in '62, 40 of them were Plymouths and Dodges.
And the 426 Ramcharger engine, that was no slouch either.
Yeah, well, '63 is when we had that, and that was a real race car. And we won the Winter Nationals, we won the Summer Nationals, and we ran off against ourselves for Superstock Automatic, and it can't get any better than that because you can't lose.
Mike, it's always a pleasure catching up. Thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, Fletch.
Bill, it's an absolute incredible accolade what you've achieved here. Obviously, the Carlisle Events team, everybody here does a fantastic job as well. And just to go through so many events on an annual basis as well. We know you've got the Ford show, the GM show, we've got Chrysler, but there's the import show, one of the biggest flea markets in the world as well. There's so much diversity here through Carlisle Events, isn't there?
There's no question about it. And, you know, we tried to hire people that loved cars, and that's part of the hobby, you know, that strength. And, you know, our guy doing this Mopar show, I mean, there's no two ways about it. That Mopar emblem's right over his heart. You know, the Ford emblem's right over our Ford guy's heart. And GM and truck and all the different events that we do, they love what they do, you know, and they're like me. They haven't worked a day in their life either, you know. To be able to work in your hobby, it just doesn't get any better, Fletch.
Well, Bill, it's always wonderful catching up with you. Thank you for the time for the interview. He's a busy guy this weekend because people don't leave him alone. Everyone wants to catch up with the man himself, and yourself and Lance do a wonderful job here, Bill. Again, thank you so much for your time. Great to see you.
It's good to have you back, Fletch. No question about it.
Thank you,
Bill. And hello to everybody in Australia.
Celebrating 50 years of the world's finest car shows and automotive events, you have seen just some of the 2024 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals, and you've seen it first on Classic Restos. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons. Sign up for the Shannons Club, Kenworth Trucks Australia, Pace Farm Eggs, and Holden Certified Service AC Delco Parts.